interesting action. Commanders Browns nonsense there. But aside from that, I obviously I'm biased, but I think the Jordan Love preseason action tonight. I'm not sure if he'll get a drive, a quarter, whatever he's going to get, but I'm sure that'll be probably the most eyes and most talked about preseason game tonight. So I'm ready for it. Some of the Bengals players in the Packers-Bengals scrimmage over the last, I believe it was yesterday, had some positive things to say about him, so I'm always gonna, at least in this offseason when I'm still looking for some optimism, need to grab onto something. So I'm grabbing onto that for now. So nonetheless, it's gonna be interesting. An hour and a half away or so. Seeing the Packers as a 4-point favorite was a little interesting, but obviously if you're getting a starting quarterback up against I know Joe Burrow, and I'm sure not a lot of the Bengals are in a spot where they're not going to play a lot of their guys. So one of those things where, the Bengals might not be a very good preseason team if they're not playing their guys, but obviously we know what they're capable in their regular season there. So aside from that, before we get into baseball, we've got some golf action just finishing up, I think, for the day here. Lucas Glover, the leader at the moment right now, 10 under right now, six under through the day, excuse me. Jordan Spieth lurking around, though. Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy coming out at the leaderboard. So it is an awesome leaderboard. Going to be a really fun weekend. Can't wait to watch that one all the way through this weekend. Stay tuned, and we might have some updates as far as that is concerned. So aside from that, we're going to breeze into the baseball slate. Might skip a couple that might not be as exciting. Oakland, Washington, I'm looking at you right now. And maybe breeze through a couple that don't have strong thoughts on it. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. Cleveland and Tampa Bay, first one up on the docket, or at least in that first set of games. The 5:40 my time, 6:40 East Coast time. I think there's a couple in there again. Xavier Curry and Aaron Savali on the mound for these two teams. Savali in the Tampa Bay Rays uniform, making his first start against his former team's second start with Tampa Bay here. He went 4 1/3, 9 hits, 3 earned runs his last time. He was very, very good to finish things out in the month of July for Cleveland. Played himself into being a valuable asset to get rid of. So interested to see if he bounces back and gets back into his July form. Obviously, a little weird against his former team, having a little bit more potentially a scouting report against him. Curry, on the other hand, last time out, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs in first start after a bullpen role. So he is kind of transitioning. Obviously now with Savali out of town, Curry kind of moves into a 5-6 inning, 4-5-6 inning starting role here. So as far as these two teams this last week, Guardians split with the Jays 4 games. Still 3.5 back behind the Twins, so if that offense can turn it up, they have a legitimate shot to take this division. Obviously, that's a big if their offense can turn it on, because it has been putrid. But even without Savali, they've still got a little bit of a pitching staff that can get them through. Look, we're not talking about a team that's has a legitimate shot to win the World Series. We're talking about AL Central that's only a few games over 500, the first place team here. So Rays, on the other hand, I think 3 games behind Baltimore right now. Just lost 2 out of 3 to St. Louis. So as far as this one, I know I roundabout way of saying feels a little inflated, minus 210, but giving a lot of respect or lack thereof to what Cleveland's offense has been doing for the most part. Tampa Bay, like I said, did lose this series this week to St. Louis. Their bats had been turning things around and starting to play a little more consistently, though. So I am going to stay away from it. It does feel a little inflated. But with Savali, not only his second start for the team, but playing his former team, it is a little wonky as far as that one is concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and lean towards, an 8.5 total here. I really don't know what I'm leaning. I'm just going to throw my hands up, and I really don't have any type of feel for this one. But it is at least an interesting matchup here. Cleveland needs to get things going offensively to have any type of chance here in the AL Central. Yankees and Marlins is a little bit of an interesting one. Hamilton on the mound for the Yanks. Luzardo on the mound for Miami there. Luzardo is a guy that I've had success with in certain spots. This could be one of them, although they're making it a little tough for you to get into as a favorite. This hefty of a favorite against the Yankees seems a little tough, a little hard to pill to swallow because they hadn't been playing too well lately. But this Marlins team just ended their losing streak that they had, won the series over the Reds this past week. They are back in the wild card spot right now. Luzardo, 4 earned runs in each of his last 2 starts. However, last time out, 2 walks, 8 Ks. So it did kind of turn things around a little bit, get things going in the right ship, or the ship in the right direction. And this Yankees team just lost the series to my White Sox 2 out of 3 games. A little bit of offensive struggle, a couple games there. They are 5 back of the wild card, so obviously got to get things going. But I am interested in some type of love towards Luzardo's way. This is a spot where I've had success with him, backing him. Hamilton has been good in the role that he's been in for this Yankees team for the most part. Could be a time where he starts to regress a little bit. Wheels fall off the the wagon a little bit here. It's going to be mostly a bullpen game for them, but nonetheless, could see him maybe struggling in that first inning or two. Himself finally giving up a little bit of runs. His WHIP is 119. He's given up some base runners, so I could see that actually the Marlins pushing some runs across against him potentially. Even if not, the main point that I like in this one is Jesus Luzardo. It is, however, a little inflated. That is the tough part of this one. I like them at opening. It was about minus 120 at open. Now you're getting minus 140, 142. Did see the majority of the money, not crazy amounts, but not 80, 90% by any means, but still majority of the money on the Yankees in this one. So it's one that I'm interested in. I might. It's a tough pill to swallow. You got to go minus a half in the first 5 to get anywhere near plus money, and you might not even get there. So the line has gotten away from you if you're interested in this one. I do feel good about Luzardo having a good game, and the Marlins taking control, at least in the first 5. Still like him for the full game. Like him in that first 5, but don't love the pricing on this one. So you got to get maybe got to get creative, or just got to bite the bullet a little bit and need a little chalk on that one. Let's see. Reds and Pirates, one of these next ones up. Abbott versus Oviedo. Abbott, last couple have not been very good. 5 2/3, 9 hits last time out, 6 earned runs, 5 walks, 3 Ks against the Nationals last time out. On the other hand, Oviedo's been fantastic his last 3. Last time out, 7 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs. And I've been talking all week. Again, they're not lighting the world on fire by any means, but the Pirates have kind of gotten their feet back underneath them after that couple month skid that they had been in. Just split a 4-game series against the Braves 2-2, and in all 4 of those games had 5+ runs scored. So even the 2 losses, it wasn't their offense's issue. Reds did end their losing streak. They had quite a bit of a losing streak there. Ended it against the Marlins, but still lost 2 out of 3 to that Marlins team. And you've got a Pirates team that's minus 115 on the money line right now. Flipped from being underdogs to open things up. If I'm going anywhere, I'm a little concerned about what's going on with Abbott. I would feel good about him bouncing back. Feel pretty good about a Oviedo regression after these 3. He's got some good stuff, but obviously you look through his resume, he's got some rough starts there. So I might lean towards the Reds team total over 4.5 out of this one. Their offense, not fantastic, picking up a little bit here these last few days, but still not very good necessarily. And I could see this Pirates offense going the opposite way and cooling off a little bit after what they just did. Had a hard-fought series against that Braves team. So I'm going to trust a little bit more the opening number on this one. Kind of call Fooey on what we're seeing from Oviedo. Think he could regress quite a bit. I mean, he's 6-11. Obviously, pitching records isn't everything with a 4.18 ERA, and it's 3 starts of 1 earned runs or less. So the ugliness can definitely be there, and I'm going to lean on the Reds to actually take care of business here. I guess I'll go first 5 again for them, as well as their team total over 4.5. So I like the Reds tonight to get things back on track, at least starting this series back on track against the Pirates. Next one up, this one is actually really interesting, and I don't know what to make of it. Twins and Phillies. If you hadn't seen it, Dallas Keuchel in town for the Minnesota Twins. Start number 2. First time out, 5 innings, 1 earned run on 8 hits, 2 walks, 0 strikeouts. So the ball was in play the first time around. If you remember last year, for as long as he was in the rotation for 2 or 3 different teams, he was a free meal ticket. That was one of the more consistent, whether it was the other team total over, whatever it is, first 5, full game, whatever. He had a good stretch of a couple months where he was a free meal ticket. Seemingly digging into it a little bit in the minor leagues, and obviously that first start hasn't given up a lot of runs, so don't quite know what to make of it. Sanchez, on the other hand, 5 innings, 6 hits, 6 earned runs last time out. This Twins team just lost 3 out of 4 to the Detroit Tigers this past week after kind of taking control of the division, slipping a little bit there. The Phillies took 3 out of 4 from the Nationals to continue furthering their standing that they've got right now. So Phillies minus 142, down from, I believe, minus 154 or so. With Dallas Keuchel on the mound, a game total of 9. I'm a little hesitant. I would like to see him get blown up once first. The 8 hits or whatever it was last time out gives me some thoughts of encouragement. But I think a lot of ground balls, a lot of outs for the most part there. So I'm going to stay away from the Phillies. The Phillies 4.5 is minus 120, so they're making it tough to get into for you anyways. But at the end of the day, I can see this Twins team putting up some runs. So if I'm doing anything against Dallas Keuchel, it's got to be the team total. Twins put up a goose egg in 2 of their last 3. So I can see them turning things around here. But after this Phillies team has done what they've done offensively these last couple of weeks, to only be a game total of 9, 4.5, it does seem a little too good to be true against the Dallas Keuchel pitcher that I'm sure if anyone's that active in baseball betting, they remember what he was last year. So it doesn't feel quite as easy to fade Dallas Keuchel here. You might want to wait one to see if he can get blown up. Maybe he gives 10 hits, 2 runs again tonight, and then the third time around we're going all systems go fading Dallas Keuchel. So I'm going to hesitate on it. Wait until next time. I'll be a little upset if he gets blown up for 6 in the first 2 innings, but nonetheless, I'm waiting on it. Could see him maybe giving this Phillies team, maybe just keeping him on the ground balls all game long. I don't know, but I'm going to stay away from it and maybe keep my eyes on Dallas Keuchel next time around. Like I said, going to probably breeze through, skip past Oakland and Washington. We'll go over to Chicago Cubs and Toronto Blue Jays. Javier Assad and Jose Barrios on the mound tonight. Assad kind of transitioning into more of a starting role. Not sure how far he's going to go. If you didn't see, the Cubs have announced they are moving, at least temporarily, maybe permanently, who knows, Drew Smyly to the bullpen, transitioning Assad into that spot in the rotation for now. I believe he did, this will be the second or third time. Last time out, 3 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Hasn't really had a lot of games or really any, I don't know, going past 4 or 5 innings at all. So if he's going, he's not going to go too long. Probably only going to go 4 or 5 innings. If he's keeping his pitch count low, that's half the battle is the pitch count getting up there. Also got a guy that they seem to not really have any interest putting out against the opposing team for the third time through the lineup. One of those guys where plenty of data to suggest that the third time through the lineup he gets blown up. So I think that's what we've got on our hands here today. Barrios on the other hand, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs last time out. Been a while since he's had a blow up. Not suggesting that's happening here today, but been monitoring him. He's been really steady for this Jays team for the most part here all season long. Cubs were cooled off against the Mets. Lost the series to them 3 or less in all 3 of those games. I think the one game they won was 3-2. All the other 2 games were 3 or less. Jays split with the Guardians, also 3 or less in all 4 of those. So their offense was cooled down a little bit as well. So not sure what to make out of this one. On that front, if you're saying maybe both these 2 teams have a little bit of a cooler offensive stretch in them, 9 seems a little too good to be true to the under there. So you kind of, and it's a little bit tough. You got the Toronto Blue Jays opening up closer to minus 120 on the opening there. I'm kind of leaning on maybe Barrios giving up, maybe not getting blown up, but giving up a few runs here. If you can get the Cubs over 4.5 on their team total, I'm a little nervous that they're just going to be, opposite streak here and not necessarily lose 7 out of 10, but offensively not look very good. It's very possible. So I'm a little hesitant on this one. Cubs are a little too streaky. And Barrios, I would like this. If this was a flat 8.5, I'd probably be going to the under. The fact that it's a 9 seems a little too good to be true for the under there with the way these offenses have performed these last few days here. Maybe it's still residuals for both these 2 teams and how hot they were before their previous series. I don't know. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't have the best feel for this one. I don't think it's as easy as the Cubs getting back on the horse and winning some games. Don't know if it's as easy as as on a 3-2 game. I really don't know. I'm a little torn in this one. I think it could be a 5-4 type game. Maybe the Cubs are the more valuable side with the plus money. I'm staying away from it altogether on this one. Braves and Mets is the next one up. Morton versus McGill. Neither of these 2 guys pitching very well. Both of them about 4 1/3, 2/3 innings, 5 earned runs in their last start. The Braves are actually 3-4 in their last 2 series. The last 7 games, 3-4, but offensively 4+ runs in all of those games, and I think 5+ in 6 out of those 7. And the Mets take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. So the Braves, as much as they're not really winning these games this last week and a half or so, it's not their offense's fault. They just had a few iffy pitching outings. But this Mets team, bats did wake up a little bit against the Cubs. 11 runs in their win, 4-3 win 2 days ago, I should say. Then obviously the ugly one in the middle there, 2-3 loss. So I'm kind of at a spot where I think this Braves team offensively, there's no reason to believe they'll go quiet again here tonight. But this Mets team could be fine too. You got a 9.5 game total here. Charlie Morton has obviously been all over the place. I have had better success picking out those starts where he's going from having 3 good starts in a row to then getting blown up for a couple. Now that he's had a couple, 2 or 3 iffy ones, not saying he's going to go very, very solid here tonight, but maybe this is a popcorn over for me. It's another one that I don't have the best feel for, so I'm going to kind of move past this one as well. Detroit and Boston is definitely an interesting one here. Skubal versus Chris Sale back in the rotation for the Boston Red Sox. Probably going to go about 4 innings. I believe that's the cap they put on him. I think that's what I heard. I can't remember if I heard them say about 4 innings or 70 pitches, whatever it is, 65, 70 pitches. But he's back in the lineup. Skubal, on the other hand, has been actually really solid. This is his 7th start of the season after starting first couple of months on the IR. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 1 unearned run last time out. 4 of his 6 starts have had 0 earned runs allowed. A 4 and a 7 are the other 2 outliers there. So obviously a guy that can get blown up. Not really hit or miss. I mean, 4 out of 6 as shutout games, and they got 2 trickled in there that aren't very good there. Red Sox actually take 3 out of 4 against the Royals, so turning things around a little bit in that series after an ugly stretch. The Tigers also take 3 out of 4 from the Twins, kind of back in that pesky territory after a little bit of a scuffle. So I'm not sure what to make out of this one. I would feel better with how well Skubal's pitched if this one was even closer on the money line. Maybe I'm crazy for that one with Boston as the home team in this one. Opened up about -162. So I'm going to lean towards, pardon me, this Red Sox team. Not necessarily because of Chris Sale. I think Skubal could regress a little bit. Not sure what you're going to get from Chris Sale. That's obviously I'm not ever really interested in getting into that type of start, but just reading these numbers, respecting the opening number, unless we're talking about it being corrected here. Detroit offensively could absolutely cool back down quite a bit. Boston, it was really their pitching that led them to those wins for the most part against Kansas City. Offense still could get better here. So I'm going to lean towards Boston getting the win, but at the end of the day, I'm going to keep this one on the desk as well with Chris Sale coming fresh off the IL. He could be terrible. He could be solid through 4 innings. I really don't know. Angels in Houston, Detmers and Justin Verlander in this one. Detmers last time out, 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs. He was not good at all. Verlander, this will be start number 2 back with the Astros. First one on 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. Astros took 2 out of 3 from the Orioles. Angels actually took 2 out of 3 from the Giants after their long losing streak there. And now you got the Houston Astros as a decent-sized favorite here. And I think you could see Reed Detmers bounce back a little bit here. I would feel the fact that you're getting plus money on the run line with Justin Verlander on the mound against a guy who just gave up 7 runs in his last time out and has a 2-8 record, starting pitching record. Again, not saying starting pitching record matters that much. Just about perception here. A 4.79 ERA, ugly last time out. We're sitting at 175 with plus money on the run line. I'm going to lean towards a nice game from the Angels here and Reed Detmers as well. So I'm going to actually lean towards this Angels team getting the surprise win, the upset win here. Maybe first 5 is what I'm interested in, but at the end of the day, I think you could get some nice Angels action here. Tough pill to say over 3.5, especially, -120 is definitely not what you want. Flat 4 with Justin Verlander on the mound is obviously something it's hard to overlook there, but at the end of the day, this one does seem a little fishy here with how well Houston is playing now, with how spotty the Angels are playing, with a iffy pitcher on the mound, at least on the season here. I'm going to lean towards the Angels getting the win in this one to start things off and pulling off the upset against old Verlander in Houston. Going to skip. I think we're going to skip past St. Louis and Kansas City. Coleman on the mound for the Royals is a bullpen start. Wainwright, 3 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs last time out. I don't have much of a feel on this one. The fact that they're only minus 130 at game total of 11. It is very, very goofy. I have no interest in getting in this one. I don't suggest you do either. I'll say it goes under. I'll say Waino is much better today. That's what I'll say, but certainly no feel in that one, and don't take my word for it. I will not be answering for that under 11 prediction there. That's an ugly one. San Diego and Arizona, only a few more left. Actually, skipping back over Milwaukee and my White Sox. 7:10, 8:10 Eastern time there. Burns versus Kopech. Corbin Burns, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs last time out. Hasn't allowed more than 4 hits in any start since June. The guy has been really, really solid and could really start to show it on paper even more so than he has been, actually. Kopech has been pretty good in certain spots. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs last time out. Both teams won their series this past week. Brewers over the Rockies, White Sox over the Yanks. Brewers up now 2.5 on both the Cubs and Reds in the NL Central. And the Brewers are coming up in with Corbin Burns on the mound the way he's pitching as a respectable favorite, rightfully so. I think one of these guys is going to give up more runs than you might expect. It might be Michael Kopech here. At the end of the day, I could see. I think this Brewers team or Corbin Burns is going to give this White Sox team some issues. Offense did come around a little bit, but I really respect what Corbin Burns is doing right now. If he regresses, he regresses. My feel on this, the White Sox 4 out of the last 5 in the win column, so it is it offensively is looking better right now. But at the end of the day, I either you're believing in Corbin Burns or you're believing in a hot streak in this White Sox offense right now. So I'm going to stay away from it. I respect the hell out of Corbin Burns. The 8.5 makes it seem like whether it's Corbin Burns not having a good start or Michael Kopech not having a good start, I might even lean towards the over 8.5. If we were talking about a lights out Corbin Burns start, 1 run through 7 innings or so, unless Michael Kopech's getting completely blown up, that over under is a little fishy there, and obviously vice versa. If it's over 8.5, maybe Michael Kopech is getting blown up and Corbin Burns only gives up 2-3, but the White Sox give up 5-6, whatever it is. So I'm actually going to lean towards the over 8.5 out of that White Sox Brewers game in Chicago. San Diego and Arizona, Blake Snell and Nelson on the mound for these two teams. Snell finally gave up a few runs last time out. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. Quite a bit of walks. Nelson, 3 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs last time out. But these two teams are 2 of the colder ones in the MLB. Padres, 4 straight losses. Diamondbacks, 8 straight losses. And the Padres are the hefty favorite with Blake Snell on the mound the way he's been pitching. But we got a flat 9. Of course, Nelson, we just talked about, was not very good. If he was going to get torched completely that hard, this number should be skewed a bit more than just minus 160 for the old Padres there. So I could see Blake Snell having another iffy start here and giving up a handful. I'm going to lean towards the over 9 on this one is where I'm leaning. With a pitcher that's been as good as Snell has lately, these offenses have been ugly lately, and the fact that we're at a flat 9 is really goofy to me here. So I am going to go over 9 as another this doesn't make too much sense on the total here. So I'm going to go over 9 on this Padres and Arizona game over in Arizona there. Colorado and the Dodgers, Gomber versus Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn last time out was pretty dang good. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Gomber, 6 innings, 6 hits, no earned runs. Rockies, still their inconsistent selves. Dodgers 9-1 their last 10. Unless you've got some feeling towards the Rockies here today, which again, could Lance Lynn have a rough start? Sure. I would feel better about it if it was minus 200 Dodgers instead of minus 300. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Dodgers take care of business tonight. Lance Lynn's got a fresh lease on life as a playoff contender, World Series contender here on the Dodgers, though. So I'm going to go towards another Lance Lynn start. Maybe I'm a little biased there, but he's looking like a different guy, and if he's got the motivation and the defense behind him, he can be really solid. So Rocky's a little too inconsistent, though. I'm not going to – there's almost no way to get into that one for the most part there. Baltimore and Seattle. Gibson versus Castillo. Pretty good pitching matchup over there tonight. Seattle's 7-game win streak. They are scorching hot. 5.5 out of the division now. 1.5 out of the wild card. O's lose a tough series to the Astros. Obviously still playing good ball. Gibson, 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs last time out. Castillo, 6 innings, 10 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 bombs allowed last time against the Angels. So this one is a little tough to crack. You've got a 7.5 total, kind of suggesting that we're going to get a better story from Castillo tonight. I do like what we've seen from him in his career and bounce back starts. So I will go under that 7.5. I'll say we've got a good pitcher's duel on our hands here. The Seattle team offensively has been cooled down these last few games. 6-1 on Wednesday, the win. But before that, 3-3-2 scored coming into that game. So I could see this offense being a little stymied today. I think Castillo could be really good. So I'll go. We're giving out game totals here these last 3 games. I'm going to go under 7.5 and a really good pitching matchup out of this one. So, and I think we could see a 3-2 game either way. That's my prediction out of that one. Texas and San Francisco. Alexander going to be only an inning or 2 for the Giants. John Gray for the Rangers. Gray last 2, 5 and 6 runs allowed. Not been very good. Giants 1-4 their last 5 in a little bit of a rough week here. Rangers did snap their 8-game win streak. Still won their series, I believe, against the A's, but obviously just ended an 8-game win streak. Goose egg on Wednesday, 2-0 there. So we're at a pick 'em here. And with the way the Giants have been playing, the way this Texas Rangers team just had a scorching hot streak, the fact that this one is about to pick 'em here, I'm going to lean towards the Giants at home in this one. And that's really, I don't think I need to dive too much deeper into that one. Little fishy that the Rangers aren't a bigger favorite if they were going to continue to get back on the hot horse there. And Giants only 1 run the other day. I think they'll turn things around and give John Gray some fits. I think he could continue his issues a little bit here. So I'll lean towards the Giants getting the win on this one to close things out tonight. That is the late game on Apple TV Plus, my friends. Well, without further ado, that about does it for tonight's slate. Gave you some thoughts and things to consider for tonight's baseball slate. If you're looking at the NFL slate and having diving into some action, then best of luck to you. I'll be wearing my cheese head for some Jordan Love positive optimism for my season here. So, nonetheless, thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for stopping by to all of the East Coast Investors Show this week. We will be back in full force next week, and we are right around the corner from football season. Going to be geared up for college and NFL season. Cannot wait for that. So stay tuned as always, and we will talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for stopping by.